Do you think we should ban guns?
Yes, 100%. I think we should ban guns. Guns are the problem, really. They're the thing that's causing the violence. People argue that, oh, it's to defend our homes, but it's so easy to buy mass-killing weapons.
Speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise I'm gonna speak up when I hop about to cut, I promise.
I want to ban assault weapons. I think it's just absolutely unconscionable that we allow these weapons of war to be in commercial circulation.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Riley Politics, and these are the top 3 reasons why we should ban all guns.
The debate over firearms in America is a highly polarized issue, with both negative and positive public opinions gaining prominence online and across the nation. A large and growing group of Americans demand increased restrictions or even outright bans, while another large group is stating that banning guns is unconstitutional, raising the questions: how did America become so divided along firearms, and why are some Americans looking to ban guns? According to a poll conducted by newsgallup.com, in October 2025, about 42% of Americans have a gun in their home, while only 30% personally own one. Despite ongoing debates, firearms remain a deeply ingrained part of American culture, traced all the way back to when the idea of the United States was still just a concept. The Founding Fathers, hoping to prevent a tyrannical government like the one they had just rebelled against, added 10 amendments to the American Constitution, what's called the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights begins with the First Amendment, the right to freedom of speech, press, religion, assembly, and petition. The Second Amendment was over firearms and the people organizing in a well-regulated militia. So even in our government, firearms are ingrained in our society. But what is causing this relatively new negative opinion on firearms? Well, it all stems from one thing: violence. Ever since Columbine in 1999, mass shootings have drastically increased in frequency. But why? Why are they happening? Mental health and various other factors are typically listed as the main reasons as to why these shootings happen, according to the National Institute of Justice. But what is the public saying? How are political figures responding to these acts of hate and violence? And what is being done to prevent these shootings? According to PewResearch.org, 60% of Americans support stricter gun laws, with 61% saying that it is too easy to legally obtain a firearm. However, in Iowa, laws have been enacted that allow teachers to possess firearms on campus, and many states have constitutional carry laws. This has led to 2 main opinions on the issue. Either we need to ban guns entirely, or you need a gun to defend yourself. But before we make opinions or statements, let's look at the reasoning behind both.
Ever since I first learned how to shoot, the issue with gun violence around the nation became clear. Guns are not the problem, people are.
To have big-ass guns like AK-47s.
I can't think of a single sane person that would want an AK-47.
Honestly, I was talking to a guy earlier, and he was like, not a single person in this crowd owns a gun like that. And I'm like, you don't know that. You don't know that.
The scary part is anybody around you could own tons of AK-47s.
Exactly.
People who believe in either having more restrictions on the purchase of firearms or are anti-gun typically list the same reasons: public safety concerns, preventing homicide, suicide, and mass killings, as well as preventing children and people at high risk from having access to firearms. Those who believe we need guns claim that a firearm is for self-defense against criminals and the government, as well as hunting and even recreational shooting. These same people also claim guns don't kill people, people kill people. But what is the reasoning behind this quote? Many pro-gun activists say that guns aren't dangerous. People are dangerous, as well as arguing that gun-free zones don't work due to where these shootings happen. Schools are gun-free zones, and yet criminals still commit these acts of mass violence in schools with firearms. It calls into question whether it is the gun or the person behind the trigger. This is where the case of Greenwood Park Mall shooting in Indiana was stopped by a citizen who was carrying a concealed weapon within the mall. Greenwood Park Shopping Mall, Indiana, July 17, 2022. A man with a backpack filled with over 100 rounds of ammunition, 2 rifles, and a pistol entered the mall with malicious intent. He made his way to the bathroom, assembled and loaded one of his 2 rifles, and proceeded to open fire on a crowd of people, injuring 2 and killing 3. That is when Elijah Dicken, a 22-year-old citizen who was in the mall shopping, saw the chaos that ensued and opened fire on the shooter. From a distance of 40 yards, he fired 11 shots and landed 8 on the armed man. The shooter proceeded to retreat and bleed out in the bathroom from where he had assembled his weapons. Elijah Dicken's actions have been both hailed and condemned by both sides of the argument, with gun control groups arguing that out of the 433 shootings between 2021 and 2022, only 22 ended with a bystander shooting the assailant, according to the New York Times, with 10 of those bystanders accidentally being neutralized by police as they mistakenly believed they were the active shooter, while gun rights activists are praising Dickon for his ability to handle the situation, while also stating that criminals don't follow laws. But what is the overall consensus? Which side has it right? Do we need more control, or do the people need more guns? How about we have a look at Switzerland? The Swiss operate under one common enemy: everyone else. 600 years ago, a group of kingdoms and tribes in the European Alps, seeing the chaos of war around them, chose to unite, promising one another protection. And instead of having a normal army, the rulers made an interesting decision. The people are the army. Every citizen would be trained to fight, and this decision would inspire a group of rebels that formed their own nation in 1776. The decision for the people to be the military worked so well that the Swiss would eventually become the legendary guards that would protect the Pope in Rome. In the modern day, Swiss veterans, after their required service, typically take their service rifle home, under the idea that an armed population is a protected one. This idea has led to the nation having the largest private gun ownership rate in the world, and because of this, also the lowest crime rate in the world. And the Swiss love their guns. In fact, in June and July, there is what's called Schützenfest, which is one of the largest pistol and rifle shooting competitions in the world. While some advocate for more guns and others for increased gun control, the core argument is keeping people safe. So while banning firearms would be a reasonable measure to ensure public safety, gun control would primarily impact law-abiding citizens. Measures such as red flag laws and extended background checks would benefit society, but an outright ban on firearms is not feasible. Criminals who kill people don't care about the law. If it is illegal to murder someone and they are going to do it anyways, then telling them when and where they can or can't have a gun is like talking to a brick wall. The ability for self-defense and national security of the United States would be compromised, making our home more dangerous if firearms were banned.